Hello, hi. So today I'm going to share the day plan that I usually use when I'm studying for my exams, and I use when I'm studying. Even in the future I'll use it when I'm studying for my exams. It is basically a plan so that you can study and revise all your portion within the 7-day period for at least twice or thrice, and you've covered almost every part of your portion, such that you know everything and you can probably answer your paper very well. Okay, so what I do is I divide my day into 4 sections: pre-lunch, after lunch, the part 3, and the part 4, that is after dinner. Part 1 is with respect to I reading core reading. Core reading is basically which you get a book, CS1 book. May anything that is bold in the chapter is called core reading. So part 1 I go through that. How I do that is basically like this. So on day 1, so today after watching this video, what you should do is basically list down the chapters in an order. Order should be the one chapter you know the least to the one chapter you know the most. So, and tomorrow onwards what you should do is first you should read the core reading of the chapter you know the least. After going through the core reading, what you have to do is you should solve the exam style questions at the end of that chapter. Okay, try to solve them on Word if you can. If not, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so try to do this for 1/3 amount of your portion each day. So if you do this, if you are doing this in the last week of your exams, you will go through the entire portion at least twice before your exams, and maybe a first few chapters that you know the least, you will go through them thrice before the exam. The part 2 of your after that after doing part 1 in the morning, let's say 8, starting from 8 o'clock, you should focus, you will have lunch and then you should start focusing on the part 2. What does part 2 consist of? Going through R or Excel of the same chapter and continuing with practice in Word. Pick a few questions and type them in Word so that you know your typing speed in Word, and you can adjust accordingly for each question. Okay, now if you do R and Excel of the same chapters that you did in part 1, you have almost covered all the important things that you want to. That is theory of the chapter, practical implications of the chapter, and practical applications of the chapter in R. So that everything overall you get an idea of how the chapter is going to be. If you are giving a paper, let's say CB1 and CB2, that do not have any practical paper, what you should do instead of this is that you should go through the MCQs of the chapter. MCQs meaning all the MCQs at the back of the book, in the book, and all the past paper MCQs if you want to. Okay, so that is going to be very helpful for you. Okay, the third part, you should take a 15 to 20 minute break after part 2. The third part of your day would consist of going through the revision notes of the chapter that you did in part 1. Again, I am focusing on the same chapters in a day, so that whenever you do a chapter, you have done it entirely by the end of the day and you are thorough with the chapter. Okay, so when you do the revision notes, you do not need to do the revision notes on Word or anything like that. You don't even need to write all the questions and answers. What you need to do simply is read a question and then try to figure out what the solution might look like. After you are done doing that, you should just look at the solution at the back of the book. If the solution that you have guessed is correct, then good. Okay, but if the solution that you have guessed is not correct, you should star mark that question for future reference. Okay, when you are going through the revision notes again, let's say on day 4, you should focus just on that star mark questions, not on any other questions. If you have figured out a question beforehand, you don't need to go through that. Now I think you will be able to figure out even on the day of that exam. Okay, the last part of your day, that is part 4, relates to the past question papers. So generally a common mistake that people make is that while going into the exam, they are not very sure about what the paper would look like. Doing past papers gives you that edge over the others. So when you do a past paper, I'm not telling you to write a past paper every day. What I'm saying is, similar to the revision notes, what you should do is take a past paper. Okay, read the question, try to figure out the solution, and compare your solution to the solution of the examiner's report available on the IFOA website, so that you know how much you are able to figure out. If you look at the past papers, you will see that the starting few questions have low marks and no subparts usually, and those questions are easily solvable. Okay, so you do not want to miss out on those questions when you are giving the paper. Doing a past paper, let's say if you do 2 papers every day, okay, you practice a bit from every chapter. Okay, so you do not forget any chapter in a day. You have practiced almost the entire portion in the day, and you have focused on a few chapters in that day. Okay, so that's going to be a good thing for you, that you have done the entire portion in a day. You have read through at least some parts of the entire portion in a day, and you have gone specifically through some parts of the portion in a day. Be strongly focused on a few chapters. While you are doing all of these, okay, if you come across a formula, okay, while you are reading, let's say in part 1, if you come across a formula that you think you can't remember, or you think is in the table book, but you do not want to find where it is in the table book, you should write this formula on a separate sheet of paper. Keep that paper safely till the exam day, so that you can refer to it during and when the exam is. Make sure you write the correct formula in this sheet. You do not want to be in a situation where you have written a wrong formula and applied a wrong formula in the exam. So make a sheet of all the formulas, even if they are in the table book. This would help you, right? For CS1, you could also write a few statistical values, like let's say Z 0.025 is 1.96, 5% is 1.6449. Yeah, you could do those things. Whenever you are doing the revision notes, if you find a certain sum has a specific trick to it, okay, you can make a note of that question along with the trick it has, so that if a similar question comes in exam, you can refer to that sheet and you can refer to the correct page of your revision notes before writing an answer to this. Okay, this is a last resort. This is not the first. You should try to, even for an exam, you should prepare that you can write the solution without having to refer it to anything. Okay, now coming to the part writing the mock. Okay, you should at least write a 1 mock, and that should be 2 days before your exam. Okay, do not try to write a mock if tomorrow is your exam. Today don't try to write a mock. Write a mock 1 day before that. Okay, write the mock in very similar conditions on how you would be writing your real exam. Okay, so if you are going to write your real exam, let's say from 1 to 4:15, write your mock in that time frame. This will allow you to adjust your this will allow you to measure your performance exactly like you would do in an IFOA exam. Okay, so do that properly, diligently. Now if you, after you have done with the mock, okay, you would know which chapters you are weak on, and those are the chapters you are going to focus for the last day before the exam. If you are done with those chapters on that last day, you can focus on the other chapters starting from the chapter you know the least. Along with that, on the night before the exam, prepare a checklist with all the things that you need for your exam. You should check the software requirements from IFOA. You should check the examination platform. You should check what time your exam is going to be. You don't want to miss out on the first 15 or 20 minutes of your exam by mistake, right? So yeah, check all those things, and lastly make a summary sheet. Basically at the end of every chapter in IFOA course notes, okay, what you have is a summary page. What you want to do is remove that page. If you are looking at a soft copy, try to print just the summary pages, or you could make a separate document of the summary pages altogether, but keep a separate document, preferably hard copy, of all the summary sheets, right? What it will help you in doing is, whenever you want to refer something, okay, from the notes, you wouldn't have to go through the entire chapter. You can just look at the summary. If you can find something similar in the summary, you can write through it. If you don't, you know which chapter and where approximately to look at to find the correct answer to something. Again, any reference to the course material is a last resort effort. Okay. On the examination day in the morning, first of all, sleep. Do not wait up until late 1 day before your exam. So sleep at a proper time. Get up early in the morning on the day of the exam. have a good breakfast. You should probably skip lunch, right? Because if you have food before your exam, it usually affects your performance and you would find yourself in a very tricky situation. So yeah, you should avoid lunch maybe and have it after the exam. Keep a water bottle near you. Do not drink too much water. Then during the exam, you could use all the formulas that you have written on a sheet. You could use the trick questions that you have written on the sheet. You could use the summary sheet that you have written on your summary sheet that you have made for that things. Okay. You do not want to miss out on the MCQ questions. Okay. Whenever you get the question paper, you should read through the entire question paper before starting to write the answers. Take 10 minutes, okay, out of the 3 or 15 minutes that you have in a paper to read through all the questions. Once you have done that, you can start your question paper from the question you know the most and end it with the question that you think you know the least. Sometimes what happens is students start the paper from the first question and they miss out on a quieter, easier question at the back, or they try to start with the back questions, and if let's say one of the back questions were very difficult and they spend too much time on it, they miss out on the first few questions that are low marked, but they are quite easy to solve. And you do not want to regret that. You do not want to think like, okay, I missed my paper and that's why I couldn't pass this time. Okay, you want to attempt the most marks that you can. Okay, for CS1 and CM papers, you should try to get maximum marks in R and Excel. Okay, R and Excel both are easier compared to theory papers, and that's why you should try to score the maximum marks there. And you should not leave any MCQ blank. This goes for all the CS papers and CV papers. There are no negative marking, so why not just mark a question? You have, if a stupid person would be guessing, he would have a 25% chance, but you have actually studied, so you'll have greater than 25% chance of your answer actually being right. So why not take the bet, right? So yeah, answer all the MCQ questions. This would relieve the pressure of your word typing paper. Okay, and so you will have a easier time writing through the paper. Have a good exam, all the best, and try to focus on studying with a plan for the next week, and you will be fine before the exams. You will have studied your portion twice or thrice depending on your speed, and you would have done each and every sum twice at least. And so whatever type of questions are asked in the exam, you would have a good chance, you will have a very good time answering those questions. Okay, good luck for your exams, all the best. That's it from my side. Thank you for watching.